Hello, it's Samantha Nolan-Smith here for our Tuesday morning chat, and we're talking about the necessity for women's voices to be raised in order to restore the balance. We are so far tipped at the moment in favour of what I'm going to call masculine values and ways of being, and noting that when I talk about feminine and masculine here, I'm talking about ethics and values that both men and women can have. And these masculine values talk about competition, and they talk about hierarchical power, and they encourage you to push to get there. And what the damage that has been done by the lack of balance, by the fact that these values have pushed ahead at the expense of the values of collaboration, the values of community, the values of circular thinking and doing and being, the values of surrender and rest and intuitive guidance over obsession with rationality and logic. The lack of balance is destroying the planet. We're already in a place where the planet is so damaged that scientists are very concerned about what could it possibly take now to restore the balance. And one of the things that I know for sure is that women are here on the planet at this time to serve a very specific function, and that is to bring back the values of the feminine, to restore the balance to this planet, to speak up about the things that have been lost, the wisdom that has been lost, the ethic that has been lost, and to pull back the masculine that is out of control. And I'm saying that women are specifically tasked with this, but that's not to say that men can't also do this as well. But the way that I speak to women, because that's what we do at the School of Visibility, the way that we do it as women is first we uncover all of the ways that through this system of this masculinized system of competition and push and aggression and mechanization, we first have to find ourselves and our own voices. And we're already biologically, we have this within us. We have a connection to the moon, to the cycles, to the earth, to the planet. And when we are not embarrassed about that, when we're not ashamed about that, which is what patriarchy has done, has made us feel ashamed about these things. But when we can connect with them and then speak to them, then we can bring back wisdom to the planet that will enable us to look for different solutions. And what that looks like in a practical way is that when somebody is, you see this all of the time with women at the moment, there's an epidemic of women who have got some kind of autoimmune disease. And it's because of this over masculinization of all people and all things on the planet. And there's a necessity to stop, to reconnect, to revive and bring forth the feminine, and to speak her, and to speak her values, and to use those values, not just the perception is that these values of surrender and intuition and allowing and collaboration are all weak, are all soft, but all of these can be expressed through the voice of the warrior. And that is what is needed at this time. If you've been thinking, I will speak up in the future, it's now. The time is now. There is no time to waste on maybe I'll do it in the future. I know that my husband just texted me and said he worked for a department. It used to be a department, environment department, and then it became an office, which is government speak for we're downgrading the importance of the environment and the environmental agenda within our government. And now it has been completely absorbed within planning and industry. And what that means is that the government that he works for is signaling very clearly that we don't have an environmental agenda anymore. We have an industrial agenda, and any environmental things, any environmental concerns that we have will be run through the lens of industry and through commerce. And this is the consequence of a warped perception of how we progress in this world. It's the consequence of not valuing the feminine, Mother Earth. It's the consequence of not understanding the importance of nature and everything that you see in the way of the treatment of nature is replicated in the way that you see all of the diverse majorities treated. Women, people of colour, Indigenous peoples, people with disability, the entire LGBTIA community. It's all replicated. It's a pattern that replicates and replicates and replicates over and over and over again to minimize humanity and to minimize and destroy the environment. And people will tell you, of course that's not our agenda, but all you have to do is look at the results. You look at the results and you know that's the agenda, whether it's conscious or unconscious. So I'm strongly encouraging you to please start speaking up. Please reconnect with the truth of yourself as not just a machine replicating a factory style lifestyle where you just get up in the morning and you go to an office and you just output all day, and then you are exhausted at the end of the day, and then you come home. That is the result of industrial revolution thinking. That is the result of a mechanized way of living in the world, and that is the consequence of an overly masculinized system, which is not sustainable, will not sustain the planet, and will leave our children with a complete shit show. It's already in existence. We're seeing it all around us. We know what it looks like, and I have only one hope at this point, because I have given up on government and I have given up on big industry. I have a hope that the women of the world, through their own personal journey of understanding and releasing and letting go of all of the old ways, these patriarchal ways of being, that we will, through that journey, find the voice of the feminine, and we will speak her loudly, and we will speak her together as a large collaborative voice, and that voice will be so loud that it will echo to every single corner of the universe. So if you want to be part of that, and I am begging you to speak up, the world cannot wait any longer for you to decide that it's okay to speak up, or that will you upset anybody else. If you need support with that, we're having a 4-day visibility challenge next week. It will look at 3 days. We'll look at how the conditioning that all diverse majorities, is the term that I coined to change up this idea of being minority groups. Because we are the majority. When you look at all of the groups that have been called minority groups before, when you gather us together, we are the diverse majority. So 3 days next week we spend looking at the ways that we have been conditioned to be silent, deliberately conditioned to be silent, how that's impacting on our willingness to speak up, and then then I teach you the system that I have developed for deconditioning yourself, for dismantling that conditioning within you. That's what we do on day 4. So if you want to join us, it's the I was going to say the wrong URL then, the visibilitychallenge.com, all one word, the visibilitychallenge.com. We start on Monday, that's Australian Eastern Standard Time, so it might be Sunday night for you, and we work through the next 4 days. We need women's voices. We need not just any woman's voice, but a woman who is in touch with herself, who is connected to the feminine, who understands who understands that the world is out of balance and desperately needs to be brought back into balance in every single way. You are the women who will change the world, and you are the women I'm calling on to come and join us at the challenge. Join us at thevisibilitychallenge.com. I'll see you there.